Prepare your heart. Something unexpected is coming, not by accident, but by a God who has watched every step you took back, every cautious choice, every dream made smaller so it would fit. For a long time you may have measured life in margins, counting pennies, shrinking hopes, assuming this struggle is your permanent address. That has been true for a season. But seasons change. God did not forget you in the quiet. He kept a blessing in reserve, hidden not to punish you, but to protect its timing. Often these divine surprises arrive after a long silence, when everything seems ordinary and even a little stagnant. That is the exact moment He moves. A door opens you never expected, a resource appears without explanation, an opportunity that requires you to step quickly and believe fearlessly. Do not be afraid when the shift comes. This shock will not confuse you, but will lift you. It will call for speed, careful discernment, and a faith that will not waver under surprise. You will be asked to let go of the limits the past imposed. Release the old calculations. Receive the sudden increase with both gratitude and wisdom. Right now, you may be feeling a gentle stirring, a quiet curiosity, a sense that something is about to change. Listen to that nudge. Pay attention to small signs. A conversation that lands differently, an unexpected email, a door slightly ajar. The Spirit often speaks in whispers that feel like breadcrumbs leading you toward a wider place. This is the close of one chapter and the birth of another. You are not being rescued into the same small circle. You are being invited into wider ground. Prepare, adjust your heart, clear your mind, steady your faith. When the surprise comes, you will be ready to move with it. What small sign are you noticing today that makes you believe this season might be shifting? Share one thing in the comments. Your reflection could unlock clarity for someone else. And stay tuned. In the next video, we'll unpack how to recognize and respond to God's financial surprises with wisdom and speed. Block 2 of 9. You've grown accustomed to measuring every step, to making plans that fit the smallest space available. You learn to protect yourself against disappointment, to tuck away dreams so they wouldn't be hurt by reality. But there is a different economy at work now. God has watched every cautious retreat, every small compromise, and He did not shrink His vision. He kept a blessing in reserve, hidden until the moment you could hold it with steadier hands. The silence you felt was not absence but preparation. In that quiet, something was being aligned for your good. When the shift arrives, it will not rush you into chaos. It will arrive like a gentle but unstoppable tide, sudden enough to surprise you, tender enough to steady you. You may feel a pause in your chest, a soft nudge in your spirit, a curiosity that won't let you rest. That is the invitation to look up. Now is the season to watch for small signs, an unexpected call, a timing that fits too perfectly to be coincidence, a door opening where you thought there was only brick. When you notice these things, move with clear eyes and quick faith. Discernment will be your compass. Courage will be the wind at your back. Don't let old fears dictate your pace. Let go of the patterns that kept you small, the calculations born of scarcity. God's surprise is designed to lift you into wider ground, to expand your capacity for blessing, not to test you for failure. Remember, divine movement often requires speed. Opportunities will ask for decisions before your doubts recover. Trust the gentle assurance inside you and act. Breathe, listen, and then step. Receive the shock as freedom rather than fear. This is the close of one season and the birth of another, a quiet revolution for your finances and for your hope. Curious about what that first open door might look like for you? Share in the comments one small sign you've been ignoring or a place where you feel nudged to move. Stay with us. Next video will help you recognize the exact openings God is preparing. You have lived long enough to know the weight of careful counting and the anxious hush that follows each closed door. Yet here, in the quiet between your prayers, something unseen has been keeping watch. God has not forgotten the seed you tucked away, the dream you pared down, the times you stepped back to make room. He preserved a blessing that would only arrive when you were ready, when your heart could receive it without fear. So when the shift comes, do not be frightened. Let the surprise find you soft and steady, not scrambling. For a long season you may have felt silence, a dryness that taught you how to wait. Those seasons are not emptiness, but preparation. The Spirit has been shaping your understanding, pruning your expectations, making space inside you for a larger provision. Often divine surprises arrive suddenly, like a door opening without warning or a resource appearing precisely when calculators and contingency plans fail. This is not chaos. It is intentional timing. You will be called to move with speed, to make decisions rooted in discernment, to walk forward with an unwavering faith that trusts what you cannot yet explain. Pay attention to the small signs. A conversation that shifts tone, an unexpected check-in, a clarity about a next step that feels like a quiet nudge. These are the soft confirmations that pave the way for the great surprise. Release the limits your past imposed. Fear is an old garment you no longer need. This surprise is not meant to confuse you, but to lift you into wider ground, to close one season gently and birth another with holy purpose. Pray for clarity, thank God in advance, and be ready to act when clarity arrives. Move with courage, but also with wise counsel. Speed without discernment can scatter blessing. Expect to be both surprised and equipped. Curious what this surprise might look like in your life? Pause and leave a reflective comment below. What small sign have you noticed recently? Or what hope is stirring in you now? Then watch the next video to learn how to respond quickly and faithfully when the door opens. You have walked a long road of careful calculations, the kind that keeps you awake at night. Budget spreadsheets, small compromises, dreams trimmed to fit the season. God noticed every cautious step, every time you stepped back so others could go first. He did not shrink. He preserved a blessing, hidden like a flame under embers, waiting until you were ready to carry its light. Now that quiet preservation is about to become a sudden, beautiful shock. When life has been steady, ordinary, even stagnant, that is when the Spirit most often moves, softly at first, then with urgency. A door you never imagined will open. An unexpected resource will arrive. A conversation, a contract, a gift, or a fresh idea will appear without warning. You may feel a gentle stirring in your chest, a mix of curiosity and something like holy expectation. Do not be afraid. This interruption is not chaos. It is restoration dressed as surprise. You will need speed. There will be a moment when hesitation costs you the harvest. You will need discernment to recognize what is from God and what simply looks attractive. And you will need unwavering faith, the kind that steps forward before all the answers come. Let go of the limits the past has pressed upon you. The map has changed. Your field has widened. This is the closing of one chapter and the birth of another. Pay attention to small signs, a recurring name, a sudden invitation, resources showing up in unlikely places. These tokens will guide your feet and speak to your readiness. Receive the shock God is sending, not as an alarm, but as a liberating hand lifting you into wider ground. Your heart will race. Let it. Your hope will swell. Let it rise. You are being positioned for something bigger than you planned. Curiosity. What small sign have you noticed lately that could be the start of God's surprise for you? Comment below with one word or one sentence. Share what you noticed, no matter how small. Then come back for the next video, where we will walk through the practical steps to move quickly with wisdom when the blessing shows up. You have been walking a familiar path for so long that the horizon felt settled, predictable, safe, and circumscribed by the limits you learned to accept. But God has not been confined by your boundaries. He kept a promise in silence, shaping a blessing in the dark, preparing a shift that will arrive like lightning in a calm sky. You won't be startled into panic. You will be invited into awe. Pay attention to the small, almost invisible cues. A timely conversation, an unexpected door opening, a resource that appears when you least expected it. These are not coincidences. They are signposts. The Spirit is teaching you to move with speed and discernment, to recognize when to speak yes and when to hold back. Your part is faith that moves, steady, courageous, unwavering, even when the path ahead feels unfamiliar. This unfolding won't undo your past struggles, but it will reframe them. Every season of lean living, every cautious calculation, every dream you tamped down, God collected them like seeds. He preserved a harvest that requires a different posture from you now, one of readiness, not fear, of obedience, not indecision. You are being invited to release the old limits that once kept you safe, but kept you small. Let go. Lean into what feels risky because it carries the signature of God's provision. There will be a moment when everything seems to change in an instant. When that moment comes, move with intentional speed and quiet confidence. Trust your discernment, anchored by prayer and the whispers of the Spirit. You will know which doors to walk through and which to leave closed. Curiosity lingers here. What small, overlooked sign has been nudging you lately? Share one thing in the comments that stirred your heart today. Your insight might awaken someone else's readiness. Stay tuned for the next video. We'll explore practical ways to step into the surprise God is bringing and steward it well. You have been walking carefully for a long time. Every step measured, every choice weighed. You learned to live within lines you drew to keep yourself safe. But God has been watching those small, careful steps. He has been holding a promise that does not fit the size of your worry. Now, that promise is stirring. This is not a loud, chaotic blast. It arrives like a gentle, unstoppable shift. First, a nudge in your spirit. Then, a tiny open door you thought was closed. An unexpected call. A resource that appears where you stopped looking. When you feel it, don't be quick to explain it away. The world will tell you to rationalize. The enemy will urge you to doubt. Instead, breathe. Stay present. Lean into that still curiosity that rises inside you. You will need speed. Not reckless speed, discerned speed. When opportunity moves, it will demand a decision that your old habits resist. So prepare now by loosening the grip of fear. Release the need to control every outcome. Trust that God's timing has preserved this blessing until you could receive it whole. It may shock you. That shock is a necessary cleansing. It shakes loose the limits that bound you. Watch for small signs. An unexpected meeting that shifts a trajectory. A payment that arrives when the ledgers are empty. A peace that outlasts your worry. Keep a quiet, watchful heart. Ask the Spirit for clarity. Ask for the courage to move when the moment comes. Remember, this is not about proving yourself. It's about receiving what was always meant for you. Let the surprise lift you. Let it expand your imagination for what God can do in your finances, your calling, your home. Are you curious to see where this shift will lead? Share one small sign you've noticed lately in the comments. A nudge, a coincidence, a piece, and reflect on what it might mean. Then come back for the next video, where we'll unpack how to act with faith when the door opens. You have grown practiced at measuring every step, at keeping dreams small enough to fit the margins of your life. You have learned the rhythm of restraint. Save, plan, postpone, repeat. But tonight, quietly, the Spirit whispers that this season is bending toward surprise. Don't be frightened when abundance arrives in a way you didn't script. God did not shrink his plans because you were cautious. He preserved a blessing for the moment when your heart could receive it. There is a gentle preparation happening inside you, a loosening of fear that has kept you small. You will notice it first as a curiosity, a subtle pivot in your thoughts, a sudden calm that reframes what you thought was possible. Then, when the timing is right, something will move quickly, an open door, an unexpected resource, an invitation that requires you to act with faith and discernment. You won't have time to overthink every angle. You will be called to choose with courage and clarity. Remember, divine surprises often come after long silence. The quiet was not absence, but a seasoning, a steadying of your soul so that when the shock comes, you won't be scattered by it. Instead, you will be steadied, ready to step into wider ground. This is the close of one season and the birth of another. Let go of the limits the past has taught you and receive the freedom that astonishment brings. Pay attention to the small signs, a conversation that shifts a plan, an unexpected check, a door that swings open when you least expect it. When you feel that nudge, move with speed, but also with prayerful discernment. Trust that God's surprise is designed to lift you, not to unsettle you. Curiosity. What small sign have you been ignoring? Share a reflective comment below, one honest line about what you've noticed. Then, when you're ready to lean in, watch the next video for the step you'll take when the surprise arrives. You have been waiting, watching, calculating each step as if your life were a ledger to be balanced. And yet, in the quiet between one careful move and the next, God has been keeping something for you. Something sudden, something big enough to change the shape of your days. Do not be afraid when the shift arrives. This is not chaos. It is a carefully timed unsealing. For a long time, you may have shrunk your dreams to fit what seemed reasonable. You turned down risks. You rationalized opportunity into safety. You learned to make do. But God does not measure his plans by your fear. He preserved a blessing, quietly, until the season when you could receive it without losing yourself to it. Often these divine surprises come after a long silence, when everything looks ordinary, when your routine feels safe and small. That is the moment he moves. An open door, an unexpected resource, a partnership that appears with no precedent, a check, a contract, a release of favor that arrives faster than you can plan for. When it comes, you will need speed, because blessings can pass through your life like a wind, and discernment, because not every sudden thing is meant to anchor you. Let faith be your filter. Let prayer and quiet listening guide the steps you take. Let go of the limits the past has taught you. Do not let old scarcity shape your response. This surprise is designed to lift you out of the old ground and set you on wider soil, where new responsibilities and new fruit will grow. Listen for the small signs. A conversation that keeps coming back, an invitation you almost declined, a door that opens with less resistance than it should. Receive the shock that will free you. It will be startling, yes, but it will also be gentle in its purpose, meant to expand you, not to break you. Curiosity stirs now. What small, overlooked sign has been nudging you? Leave a reflective comment below and tell us what you've noticed. Stay with us for the next video. There we will name the steps you'll take the moment that door opens. Agora, respire fundo. Você chegou ao fim desta palavra e, nesse silencio sagrado, algo dentro de você sabe que não foim veio. O choque que eu falei não vira como alarme. Vira como toque gentil e firme. Uma mudança que amplia o chão onde você pisa. Você não precisa temer. Deus vai o cada momento em que você recuou. Ele guarda uma bunção para o tempo certo. Quando você já tivesse aprendido a andar com fé, não com medo. Permaneça atento às pequenas portas que se abrem. Uma conversa inesperada. Uma proposta que parece fora do seu alcance. Recurso que aparece quando você já havia desistido. Essas são as pistas do acerto. Você será chamado a agir com rapidez, mas também com clareza. Discernimento importa tanto quanto coragem. Confie no que pulsa no seu peito. Aquele impulso de fé, responda a ele. Agora, deixe que essa notícia assente. Deixe que ela remova, pouco a pouco, as limitações que você arrasta por nós. Neo é sobre sorte. É sobre o movimento divino que reposiciona você. É o fechamento do ciclo e o nascimento de outro. Sinta a liberdade que acompanha a revelação. Menos necessidade de controller, mais espaço para receber. Se você sente curiosidade, permita-se olhar para o que vem. Pergunta-se, o que eu faria se o sustento que eu preciso chegasse agora? Escreva isso. Compartilhe nos comentários uma frase que revela a sua expectativa ou o medo que você quer entregar. Seu comentário pode ser o que abra o caminho para alguém ao seu redor. Fique curioso. Deixe comentário reflexivo abaixo dizendo: está pronto para receber. Ou compartilhe uma pequena esperança. E não saia ainda. No próximo vídeo, vamos caminhar por passos práticos para reconhecer essas portas e responder com sabedoria. Como discernir, como agir rápido sem precipitar. E como administrar a surpresa como mordomo fiel. Va devagar. Receba o choque como presente. E nos vimos no próximo vídeo.